Republican presidents, including Trump, will have appointed a majority of federal judges before the end of 2020. Hello, this is Robert Romano, Vice President of Public Policy with Americans for Limited Government, dailytorch.com. Hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to be talking about federal judges and where they sit, who's appointed the most federal judges, Republicans or Democrats in 2020. And where it goes from here. Now, one of the effects of the Senate's impeachment abrupt conclusion in favor of President Donald Trump, he's been acquitted, is that now the Republican Senate will be able to confirm even more federal judges in 2020. Right now, that number is up to 191 federal judges that have been appointed and confirmed by the United States Senate. And on average, U.S. presidents, they average about 163 federal judges appointed per term. You can see that over 2 terms, Barack Obama got 329, George W. Bush got 327, Bill Clinton got 378, George H.W. Bush, 391, Ronald Reagan, 383, Jimmy Carter, he only had 1 term, 262 were confirmed in his 1 term. I think that's the record. But President Trump, he's doing really well with 191 judges confirmed. He's above the average for presidents per term. And there are currently about 81 vacancies now and 25 nominations pending, giving President and the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, Republican out of Kentucky, a clear window to get even more judges confirmed this year. So when you look at the current breakdown, you have 404 federal judges have currently been confirmed by Democratic presidents, and 390 have been confirmed by Republican presidents, giving Democrats still a slight edge. 50.8% of federal judges have been appointed by Democratic presidents. In 2020, after 3 years of Trump, Republicans still don't have a majority of federal judges, but they will this year. They're really, really close. They only need to get 15 more, and then that'll be that. They'll have a majority. If all of the vacancies, 81 vacancies, are filled this year, the number for Democrats will fall to 46%, giving Republicans 54% of federal judges. I expect that majority or most of those vacancies will be filled before the end of the year. So Republicans are going to have a majority of federal judges in 2020. The question is, will President Trump get reelected? Will they get to build upon that lead in 2021 through 2024? And maybe this is the reason why Democrats, House and Senate Democrats, they wanted to slow down the United States Senate with a really long impeachment trial with an endless series of witnesses. If Democrats had had their way, the impeachment trial would still be ongoing, having an endless parade of surprise witnesses and to be called to occupy the Senate's time not spent confirming judges. Take former National Security Advisor John Bolton's prospective testimony. It never happened, but his lawyer had said that he wouldn't testify unless a court ordered him to do so when the House was proceeding. Then as soon as it went over to the Senate, and Nancy Pelosi, she tried to hold up the articles of impeachment. That failed. And maybe it slowed down the trial for about a week, but it led to nothing. And they wanted a pre-trial agreement on witnesses because they wanted to stretch this thing out, in my opinion. So that Bolton's lawyer then suddenly turned around and said that Bolton would testify to the U.S. Senate if he were subpoenaed, giving it was a move designed to pressure Republican senators to hand the floor of the impeachment trial over to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and just let him call as many witnesses as he wanted, dragging on the trial for weeks or months, meaning no more judges in 2020. So was the Bolton testimony ploy coordinated? Well, what we know is the House never did subpoena Bolton, and only after the House sent the articles to the Senate did Bolton say he would testify if subpoenaed. At this stage, Republicans in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, they had a choice to make. Either allow the trial to continue indefinitely, eventually resulting in Trump's acquittal, but it could go on for months, or they could just end it then and there. Mercifully for the nation, McConnell and the Senate Republicans, they opted for the latter. The Senate GOP, they got the job done, no witness, and a prompt acquittal for President Trump, and now on to more judges. Critically, it is worth noting that if a Republican House had impeached a Democratic president with a Democratic Senate in power, Say they had attempted this in 2011 or 2012. They had the House, but not the Senate and not the White House. The charges would have been promptly dismissed by the Democratic Senate, which is why it's a bad idea if you only have a majority in the House to try to impeach the sitting president when you don't own the Senate. You don't have a majority in the Senate. You don't get to dictate terms on what the trial is going to look like in the Senate. That's why it was a dumb idea for House Democrats to go this way with the Senate Republicans there waiting to just get rid of this trial, to end it quickly and say, no, we're not going to stretch this on for weeks and months. We got better stuff to do. We're going to get judges confirmed. Meaning the Senate, GOP Senate, never had any good incentives politically to lengthen the trial, since there was a zero likelihood that they would ever be able to force a similar trial on a Democratic president in an election year with the roles reversed. Particularly, there are far more pressing matter from the Senate Majority Leader's perspective, regardless of political party. And I'll leave you with the close here. McConnell did not want to waste months in 2020 on a Senate trial that would eventually acquit Trump anyways. As soon as he had the votes to end the trial, he did. And a clear majority of federal judges being appointed by Republican presidents before the end of the year will be his legacy. That's the commentary. This is Robert Romano, Vice President of Public Policy with Americans for Limited Government, dailytorch.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and have a good day.